Welcome in Karibuni to Aroma of Zanzibar. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this beautiful flaky and buttery croissant. I'm sorry the video is long overdue. Please excuse my delay. So I have my flour here, my salt, yeast, sugar, butter, milk and water. Make sure that your milk and your water is slightly warm, not too warm, just slightly. And then I went ahead and added the sugar and the yeast into the mixture. And then you just want to stir it to make sure that your yeast is well dissolved. And then I'm using my stand mixer here. You can use anything you want. You can use your hand and it's perfectly all right. And then I'm just adding my yeast mixture into this 4 cups of flour that I've used, and the water is 1 cup and the milk is half a cup. I will put the ingredients at the description box below. Okay, once your flour has formed into a dough, rough dough, you don't want it to be well done, go ahead and add the salt. The reason why I do not add the salt, or this is what I was taught, is because the salt does kill the yeast and you want the yeast to be well distributed before you add the salt. Okay, so after that I knead it for 2 minutes and then start adding the butter. This is about 4 tablespoons of butter, so we're just going to add it slowly. As soon as it's combined, you keep adding more until you finish the butter, and this process should not take more than 10 minutes. And then the dough should be little sticky but stretchy too and firm. And then you can leave the dough to rise, or rest in the same bowl that you're mixing, but make sure that you do apply some fat so that your dough, it gives your dough your dough does not stick into the bowl. It allows it to rise properly. Okay, so, and the temperature for croissant is very important. So you want to keep this at about 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 centigrade for about 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay, so now after 1 hour, this is what I have. 1 hour 30 minutes, which is 90 minutes. And I'm moving to my second step now. And this is, we're going to put it in a tray like this. You can put it in a bowl, but the tray is better because you want to spread the dough to make sure that the gluten strands are well, relaxed. Okay, now this one, this part, you have to keep this for about 8 hours or overnight. I'm doing this on Friday morning so that I could have my croissant on Saturday morning. Okay, so I will keep this till tonight and then start working on it. Okay, and yep, so this is Friday night still, and got my butter here. It's soft. You want to get it softer, and you can use a sandwich bag, and you can use 4x4 size if you want. I like to use the 8x8 inch because it's easy for me. When I roll, I don't have to worry about the width. I only have to worry about the length when I'm rolling my pastry dough. Okay, so I just want to make sure that it's, it fits here and it's level. That's also very important. And I'm going to keep this in the fridge. You just want to keep it for about 30 minutes. You want it cold and hard, but not very hard, so that when you roll it with your dough, it kind of slides with the dough together, because when it's too hard, then it breaks into pieces. Okay, so now my dough is ready. It's been in the fridge for about 8 hours. Okay, so it's Friday night, and I'm going to start my process, because croissant, usually the perfect croissant, it takes 3 days to do this. So I try to minimize the time into 2 days. Okay, so flour the surface, and we're just gonna make this into a square. Okay, roll into a square, because we need to put the butter inside, like an envelope, and you put the letter inside. If you have seen my video on puff pastry, then this is a similar technique. Okay, it's just that this dough has yeast. And make sure that whenever you want to do this, you're working in a room that's cold. Okay, because the heat is really, really bad for croissant. Your butter is all going to melt, and it's going to be very difficult to work with. Okay, so I'm going to put this at the center where the point is, you know, on north, okay, like that. And just like an envelope, a letter, you're gonna cover your butter with the dough. Okay, now there are 4 elements on croissant, okay? The flakiness outside, the softness inside, the layers, and the flavor. The flavor comes when you keep your dough in the fridge for the overnight. That's where you develop the flavors, because that yeast, you can even smell it. That's a perfect croissant, and that's what we're trying to obtain here. So now I'm not worried about my width, I'm only worried about my length. But if I had a 4x4, then I would have to be working on both the length and the width, okay? So this is about it. Ideally, you would do like 60 centimeters, but my surface is not that long, but it works for me. Okay, so you just want to fold it like this, like a letter again, like a book, sorry. Like a book, as they call it, a book fold, and 1/3, and then the other 1/3, okay? And make sure that the fold is always on your left, okay? Okay, then I cover it and keep it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. Okay, the reason why I keep it for 30 minutes, again, you don't want the butter to be solid, then it's difficult again to roll. It does roll, but it breaks into pieces. You will see even mine did come, even though I was trying to avoid. So the fold should always be on your left. So as we open, and then this is the second time after 30 minutes. Okay. So basically when you fold and then you bring it back, you turn it 90 degrees and then you roll, okay? So now I'm rolling again. Yeah, I'm trying to get it as long as I could. I could do the other way, roll it, but then my camera angle is very bad. So, okay, so make sure you dust all the extra flour out, and then we're gonna fold it again. And then you see, you rotate it 90 degrees, okay? And then you cover it. So that's how you know. So the next time you roll again, you know, you just roll it upwards. I don't know how to explain. Now you're gonna put this in the fridge for 30 minutes again. Now I had to omit the other part. You're gonna do this again one more time for the 3rd time, and then keep it in the fridge overnight, okay? Because the video is too long. I had to omit that part. So you're gonna do one more folding just like this, and then keep it in the fridge for overnight. Now Saturday morning, this is when I was ready to have my croissant, okay? I mean, you can do this ahead of time and have them when you want, but I just wanted to have them on that particular Saturday. And for those of you who have seen my Instagram, I posted this on, I think, on the 6th of December. So this video is long overdue. I wanted it to be my last video for 2016, but I was way too busy. I just couldn't do it. So it's going to be my first video for 2017. Okay, so now you're going to roll this a little bit. Actually, it's not necessary to do this part, but I just did it. And okay, then you're going to divide this into 3 portions. Now each will give you 8 croissants. So you're going to have about 24 croissants, the medium size, not too big. So if you want them too big or too small, then you're going to get a different number. Okay, so you see all that butter inside there, in between the layers. Okay, now if you have done the puff pastry, this is going to be much shorter time than doing the puff pastry, okay? So you just want to roll this, and you don't want it too thick. You want it a little bit thinner, because that's how your butter, okay? And then just remove the edges. Some people like to cut the edges when they're still rolling on the bigger sheet, but I prefer to do it at the end like this. And I do not measure my croissant. I just eyeball the size, and you're just going to make triangles like this. Okay. This is, it's not so time consuming really, because once you keep it in the fridge, when you work with it, it doesn't take that much time. Okay, but okay, then you're going to make insertions at the bottom. And yeah, so I think I got about 8 croissants there. 7 or 8. I ate these long time ago. I actually finished all of them and I made 2 more batches. I still have, I think, about 2 batches in my freezer. Okay, you just want to stretch, and if you want, you can even roll it a little bit to stretch longer, to make sure it's a little bit thinner. Okay, and that's it, and that's how you roll your croissant. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest, and then we're going to leave them to puff up, and that is again the room about 75 degrees. And this is what I do with the rest. Just put a parchment paper in between and then put them in a bag, and you know, write the date and what it is. You know, if you have a lot of things, I got puff pastry in my freezer, so I still have to write the date. And okay, so once they've puffed, just do an egg wash. And I've got my oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and you want to bake these for 10 minutes on 425, and then go down to 375 for about 10 minutes more. Okay, so here they are. Or it depends, you know, your oven, if your 425 is not as hot, then you can just go ahead and do all the 20 minutes for 425. Okay, so that's about it, and thank you so much. For more recipes, please visit me at Aroma of Zanzibar, and I do want to thank you all so much for your support, and I want to wish you a beautiful and a successful 2017.